One. Also new tonight, we're learning a woman died after staff at a nursing home called for an ambulance and there were none available. A common problem here in Knox County. Good evening. Glad you're here for WVLT News. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Casey Wheelis. This comes as American Medical Response says they're doing better. Since the new contract was awarded in November, AMR says the company added 62 new employees, increased pay, and restructured the way they respond to calls. But is it enough? I spoke to a couple who says they had a close call.
Knox County 911.
I think my husband's having a heart attack. It's okay, honey.
Oh. So you think your husband's having a heart attack?
Yeah, he's 79. He's having chest pain.
Okay,
A
ma'am.
really bad headache. I can't get
Ma'am.
blood pressure. Yes, yes.
I was like, I'm going to go to bed. And he was like, I'm going to read for a while. And then I was like, okay. And so I turned around and then I heard him close the book and then I heard him go, ugh. And he had grabbed his chest.
I don't know how many times they called for an ambulance, but it took almost an hour for the ambulance.
Sandy Edline laid in agony for almost an hour as firefighters did what they could to keep him alive.
And we understand from the medical community that 80% of the people that have this heart attack die.
A widowmaker heart attack, a full blockage to the heart's biggest artery. One he almost didn't survive.
So at 15 minutes, I said, I think I should put him in my car and take him to the hospital. And they're like, we already have a line in him.
I'm lucky to be alive. I mean, let's be realistic about it. I mean, it is a life and death situation.
Now he wants to know what's being done to make sure it doesn't happen again to him or anyone else.
My concern was, okay, you have an outsourced service. I understand it. It's a business. It's a hard business. There's no doubt about it. But when that business has issues, okay, and they are a critical service provider to the city, what is the oversight that the county or the city or combined has?
A WVLT News investigation shows in 2023 there were no ambulances available hundreds of times. Sandy's heart attack happened in December. Since then, the county approved a new contract with American Medical Response with the promise of changes. Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs, Chief of Staff Dwight Vandevate, sent WVLT News a statement. It reads in part, "The system in place under the old contract simply wasn't sustainable, and in the very late stages of it, uncertainty about who the EMS vendor would be exacerbated challenges impacting an already struggling system. The new contract, although less than 3 months old, is already showing positive results. Very positive results. We are encouraged about improvements we are already seeing in the system and believe that more improvements will result. While the system is still far from perfect, it no longer is at the edge of crisis. Unfortunately, none of that will change what happened in Mr. Edline's case." Documents obtained from the last 3 months show AMR responded on time to at least 68% of calls in February. In March, that number grew to 72%, but that leaves at least 28% of calls where sometimes it's too late.
Knox County 911, where's your emergency?
Well, I had a patient that we were going to send out to the hospital.
County records show a woman died on March 23rd after waiting for an ambulance to take her to the hospital. She was a dialysis patient at a nursing home, vomiting black-colored vomit.
Okay, what's going on this morning?
She is a dialysis patient.
2 minutes later, the call is dispatched as no dispatch EMD, nurse navigation criteria met. Now, nurse navigation is a new program launched by AMR. It categorizes calls, non-emergency injuries, are then transferred to a nurse navigator, similar to telehealth. Then less than a minute later, she becomes unresponsive. At 11:55, the case is dispatched as advanced priority criteria are met. And there are no EMS units available. Several hours go by, they call for an ambulance again, but there are none available. Almost 3 hours later, the call comes in as a code 73. 911 officials tell us that's code for death. We reached out to AMR about her case. They say they can't comment due to privacy laws. That was their same response for Edline's case. But they added, the contract has a 120-day break-in period, and performance has improved every month. We will be making a report with specifics to the Knox County Commission at their May meeting. There is also an improved spirit of cooperation between everyone involved in providing emergency services in Knox County. The county's response to the death? We are not aware of this, but we cannot comment due to medical privacy laws. During a recent budget meeting, Mayor Jacobs said this about the new contract.
AMR has already increased the staffing, and early indications show response times have improved substantially. And I assure you that we will hold AMR accountable.
At that county commission meeting earlier this week, AMR Regional Director Josh Spencer presented data showing AMR is getting better, but not there yet.
We have seen since October a 31% increase in our staff, so we went from 178 EMTs and paramedics up to nearly 240.
At that same meeting, a concerned dad said he had to drive his son, who was having seizures, to the hospital himself because no ambulance came.
My son could have died. And to me, that is unacceptable. What happens the next time when I call 911?
For Edline, he wants to be part of the solution, but he says something needs to change.
If you've got leaders that just say, well, we've delegated and now we have a committee of 11 people or 12 people that are going to look at their AMR reporting on a monthly basis, oh my God. I mean, I would never run a company like that. What if they don't perform? We just sit here and people complain and then people die. I mean, that's what happens if you have no residual backup plan to help.
Now, our team, of course, led by Casey, have reached out to AMR multiple times to talk about the contract. They only provided us with that short statement we showed you just a few moments ago.
And Ted, in the past, AMR has attributed these problems to long waits at hospital ERs and a lack of staffing. And that is really a problem cities are seeing nationwide. Some county commissioners at this week's meeting say they see AMR's hard work and they're hopeful AMR will keep improving.
Let's hope your next investigative story on this is look at the improvements they've made.
Yeah, we hope so.
Let's get a look at the weather now. Meteorologist